a decision, then write a document. I think that's all it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's no instructions. I was looking for them too.
The one that I see, it says it has numbers 1 through 11,
What?
but
I didn't
maybe
see
we're
that
just supposed to
either.
be a document.
Where did you find that, Brent?
It's in the BZZ agent case.
Because we
Oh,
were
I see that.
go
I
over.
just come up with the case. I don't come up with the instructions. Did you already take the poll?
Yeah.
Oh, so I didn't take the poll because I couldn't find. I thought we had to do it together.
No, you just supposed to do it before the class. Oh, I found it, Brent. Yeah, sorry.
You see it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're supposed to do it before. So go ahead and take it real quick. It's just real short.
2 questions.
Okay. Let me go back to my briefcase, right? Oh, goodness.
That makes more sense.
I didn't see the paper until you just pointed it out right now, too. I hadn't opened up that one yet, but I saw that.
What paper are you talking about?
Like basically it's just come up with on our decision, right?
Yeah, it's just something that it's just going to be a Word document that says this is what we decided and why we decided this.
I don't know why my moving slower than So I thought we were supposed to go over the TM worksheet.
Well, we are going to, but we also have to write a little thing at the end.
Right. Okay. So just click on the poll. Today was a little, this week was a little bit confusing because I said, okay, well, I can't do that yet. I can't do that yet. So I didn't realize. And you said a real short poll?
But it's just like 2 questions or something like that. It's really short. But you have to take the poll to see the case.
Right. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to come up.
Are you recording now, Andrew?
I am. Sadly, I should have waited. I didn't think we were gonna have to.
That's okay.
But once you stop, you can't start.
Okay, so this says, should Bolter go along with Kavanaugh's plan to hold a VC action for Buzz Agent's next round of finances?
That's your question to answer.
I know, I just, the question doesn't really, it's hard when you don't have a good understanding of what they're doing.
So it's pretty much just asking, so usually in the VC route, you go take your idea to the VCs, not that you don't say that tell the VCs what you want. So they're kind of doing it backwards. So it's just asking, is that a good idea or not?
I think it's genius. So.
Then mark yes.
Okay, so I just have to make. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So they offered it to 11 VCs. 10 of them accepted it, the terms. So will they take all of them making $100 million?
No, they'll only accept one.
They're only going to accept one. So then the reason for classifying them into the they talked about the top three, which firm B was the one who wanted his own
Mhm.
plans. So they're only going to take one. Okay, that makes more sense on the numbers they gave us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see why they even need to consider that guy then. I bet you guys have totally different
Yeah,
Just-
that's the point of the worksheet, so you can see like the difference. So they offer different numbers, but there's going to be a lot of different things down the road, like how much are they going to be worth at the end of 5 years. So, I mean, the more someone invests, the more you're projected to grow, right? So $15 million will be grow more than $10 million will.
Mhm.
So that's why that's kind of the point of the case study, to see, well, here's the terms they wanted, but is this other firm better? And then it's not just the numbers, it's also, what other VC firms can bring to the table, like through a partnership or through, their network, who they know, or with the prestige that each VC firm has. So,
right. And so I went back and forth on this case, saying, okay, well, maybe they should go with that, and then back to the other. Okay, so now I have the questions up front also.
Okay. Should we start with a prayer?
yes, let's do prayer. Yep.
Who wants to say it? Either you guys or I can.
I'll say it. It's about my turn.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day and that we could be able to meet together. And we pray thy spirit will be with us, that we can be able to have a good discussion and make sense of what our opinions are on this case. We are grateful for being able to learn and grow, and thank you for the great many blessings that will give us unto us each and every day. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Okay, I should have started the timer earlier, but I just started it. I'll have to go back and find it. Okay, go ahead, Brent.
Okay. Well, the first question, number 3, says, what does BZZ agent do? What need is being met? And then it says, what about the product market fit? Have they demonstrated demand they can profitably serve? What makes BZZ agent successful? Pull out the case and discuss table A and exhibit 5. Take time as you work through the following questions. How profitable is BZZ agent? Calculate the growth rate from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2004, and from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2006. How satisfied are you with revenue? How satisfied are you with operating margin?
Okay. So I guess first is, what does Buzz Agent do? What need is being met? They're just a word of mouth marketing. So people like referrals more than they like more than they want to see commercials. So they just give free items out to people, and then people write reviews and
talk
recommend
about
it to their friends.
So the need that is being met is they're marketing, they're advertising for a company, and they're doing it in a less expensive but more effective way.
Yeah.
I think that they know that they can profitably serve.
Yeah, I think so too. They're already profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they found their right market because they're growing fast.
Mm-hmm. There were not many firms not many different companies like them.
Yeah, there were some competition, but they didn't do exactly the same thing. They had some different models focusing on teenagers or focusing on different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think kind of it helped them that they focused on a large group of people instead of just on teenagers. They focused on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing. One of us still has something opened from the other video call because of the sound. But you already said what made Buzz Agent successful was that people would rather buy at the recommendation of friends or family, or even the cashier at the register, than trust people on advertising on TV or radio.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty interesting because that is like a thing of the past, because people were TiVoing it and just kind of sliding through those commercials. On the internet, they make you watch the commercials. They prevent you from going forward until that's done, and it's so annoying. But
Yeah.
that's why word of mouth makes so much more sense. And even the advertising agencies who are trying to do these big neon signs flashing with the LED lighting, and even those people who want tens of thousands of dollars for these signs said that the best advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep. So I think we can all agree that they're profitable.
Yeah.
Look at the tables. If you look at table A, that shows, I think that's just one example.
Yeah, I'm going there right now. Exhibit 5, right?
Yeah. Table A is just one example, right, of a company that they worked with.
Gotta rotate this. Hold on.
It's on page 5. It says cost of the buzz agent ad campaign fee, $220,000, and then it has their profit as $55,000,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, they have good profit margin, 25%. So that means 25% of what they're, receiving is what they're keeping as profit. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So, I mean, I think they're doing great. What does it ask us to do specifically? We're supposed to vote. So let me mark this as a vote time. 5 minutes. Okay.
Do you know what I on this question? I think that it was smart for them to they came up with a valuation and then they doubled it to make it is that a public valuation? Or what they wanted to come out. I thought that was pretty smart for them to do that as well.
Yeah. So,
wait, what are we supposed to vote on right here?
Well, it says, as a group, poll out. Oh, maybe not. I thought it said it did. I guess I was wrong.
So the question also is, how did we determine the growth rate? And when I was answering my questions for, I don't know, the case analysis or something like that, I kind of went with a different avenue. It was on the agents they had, because they started out with 1,000, and then all of a sudden they're at 100,000 agents, and it's just like, that's like so fast growth rate. It was only 3 years, and I thought, wow, that's a way big. I guess I need to learn to articulate my words, but it was really a great exponential growth.
Yeah.
Because it was such a great idea and went ballistic.
Yeah, people caught on to it really quick and probably figured that I mean, I see it as a great opportunity, and other people probably did too.
Yeah, I think so.
Andrew, are you looking at Exhibit 5?
I am, yes, but mostly I'm looking at how to do this growth rate thing from 2002.
Okay. I don't know how to do that, do you?
I go to the growth rate 2002 to the end of 2004, and from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2006. How do you determine growth rate? Well, on our assignment, we have
that formula, right?
Yeah, there's the formula for required revenue, which isn't, I don't think it's technically growth rate, because it's just saying how much more revenue do we need to have. Because it's taking F16, it's taking the revenue at exit divided by revenue, and then telling how much more that is.
Yeah.
So each year you have to have 67% more revenue. So what year is this supposed to be at the end of? So the current revenue, I think this would be 2005, is 7 million. But that's 2005. So it's kind of weird. Calculate the growth rate for the beginning of 2002 and the end of 2004. So do we have numbers for all that? I guess we probably do, don't we?
Would you take the revenue of 2004 divided by 2002?
No, because you need to have it done by years. So I think it's going to be like that formula. Hold on. Do something. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Okay, so like if you go to the case, Exhibit 5 at the bottom is like a their financial sheets, their balance sheet, and their income statement, and then they have forecast to what they're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we could do the same thing. Like since there are forecasts, we have 2002 to 2004, and then there's like a 2002 to 2006. So we could do the same type of thing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we could use the same 5 and what they expect like revenue to be in this 2006 and what current revenue is. Divide those two into the 1 to the power of the 1/5 minus 1. I think that would give us a growth rate.
Are you taking 59,042?
No, because down here at the bottom, are you down on the exhibits on the actual case? So there's an actual all their info. So in like 2002, they lost $67,000, and then in 2004 they had $265,000 in profit.
Oh, well, you're looking at net income.
Yeah, the real thing down at the net income. Yep. Okay. So let me do this on Excel real quick because that's probably the easiest way to actually do it. Let me open up a new sheet.
I was looking at the next page down where it says revenue.
Oh, that might be actually better.
Page down
Let's see where it says revenue. Because is it asking us for net? Is it asking us for revenue? Is that what it's asking us for? It doesn't have any revenue though.
Well, the Excel sheet is using the word revenue.
Total cost of revenue, gross profit. It's kind of a weird sheet, to be honest. Total assets, revenue. Why is there no revenue? I mean, it says revenue, but then this is the cost of revenue. Oh, total revenue. There it is. Sorry.
Total revenue?
Yeah. So I guess we'll use that.
Which page did you find that on?
Page 20 on the case.
Okay.
It's
so I had to call up the case again to get to the exhibits because I didn't print all of those off.
So the forecasted revenue for 2005 is the same that we have in the Excel sheet. That makes it easier.
What do you mean?
Total revenue from the exhibit.
Yeah.
Forecasted to the end of 2005.
It's the same.
It's the same, yeah.
But we're supposed to do the end of 2004 and then to the end of 2006.
Okay.
On the Excel sheet, I didn't see the date either.
To the, how many years is that? 2002, 3, 4. That's 2 years. 2002, 2004, 2 years. To the 1, or do we take that as 3 years counting 2002, 2003, and 2004? I think that's 3. Minus 1. That gives us, why does that give us a negative rate? That shouldn't give us a negative rate. What did I do wrong here?
So because on Exhibit 5, it gives us the forecast for 2006, which is one of the things they're asking for. And then the actual for 2002 and 2004.
Oh, that's fine.
And you're putting those things in there because we, Brent is compiling this page and going to turn that in, but we are not supposed to. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. So from what I'm, gosh, gosh, I have so many pages up.
I know it's hard to navigate back and forth.
Oh, that's two. I put in the wrong number. 2598007. Okay, so I have here that they grew 253%, which is probably pretty accurate because they went from $59,000 in total revenue to $2 million in total revenue.
Yeah.
So, and then we want to figure out 2002 to 2006. Then they went to
the numbers.
I've got them like minimized. It's 19,767 292 is the forecasted for then, right? And that's going to be 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. That's 5 years. Okay. So I got that at 220%. So
that's an incredible growth rate.
Yeah. So you calculate the growth rate. So we did that. How satisfied? I'm really satisfied with revenue growth. I don't know why they wouldn't be. The operating margin. See what the operating margin is. Gross profit.
What is operating margin? That's part of the question. I don't know what it is.
Operating margin is like how much money you make before income and taxes, kind of like that. So after all your expenses, other than interest and taxes, it's whatever percentage of money is left into. So like, how to best explain this? So say that our total revenue, like in year 2, right? That's probably the best way. In year 2 was 721,564. Okay, so we have all these expenses after that, like operating expenses. Well, this says we had none, but we had other. So we had $469,127 in expenses. And so then our operating income somehow was 18,822, and the operating margin means that was 2.61% of that revenue.
Oh,
so we only made 2.61% of all the revenue that we made, but then we go through and we see that every year it goes up because revenue goes up. So then like the next year is just 11%, the next year is 27, then it's 24, and it's 26. So then this is asking us, what is the operating margin? Well, I mean, that's kind of a per year thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you could probably add up all of the operating costs, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I would be super happy with their operating margin. I mean, the first year they took a loss, which is, whatever, you're going to take a loss. And then, go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say that's a typical start, right?
Yeah, I think so. And then they jumped, 2%, and then they went from 2 to 11, and then 11 to 27, and then they dropped a little bit, and then they went back up again. So, I mean, the 25% operating margin, that's pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be very happy with their operating margin.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on then. I think we figured that out.
Sure.
If Buzz Agent is growing and profitable, why are they raising money now? Can they succeed without venture capitalist funds? What role does timing play in this decision? How much money does Buzz Agent need? I wondered why they need more money, but
they said they didn't.
Well, on one of these pages, it says that they need to increase sales and strong brand. Or no, that's not it. They needed to add operational capacity, and so. But I don't ever understand why they need that much money. But in the Harvard Business School cases that we always did, that was the most important thing, was to make sure you balanced exactly how much you borrowed, and that made your company grow so much better if you did borrowed the right amount of money.
Yeah, so I think they could succeed. He says in case B that they don't technically need the capital, they don't need the funds, but I think a lot of it has to do with just getting. I think they talked a lot about getting help from the VC firms, like partners, someone that can give them advice for growth that's has expertise in this kind of marketing. So I think that's the main reason they went with the VC fund. But I mean, obviously, they want to get a high valuation because it makes their company worth more and it makes their stock worth more. So that's another point of going with the VC, because then they're going to put a valuation to your company. So if they put like a $40 million valuation, then your stock price goes up. But if they put like a 60 million valuation or a 50 million, then your stock price goes up even more, and that turns out to be more profitable for your company.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is just that evaluate their company.
Yeah, that's the main thing, really.
Because you guys both, and I agree, think that they don't need to borrow the money, it gives me more credence to I'm going with not accepting the unusual terms with the higher valuation, because they don't need to do that and they're growing at a great rate already.
Well, I never said that they didn't need to borrow the money. I think they do need to borrow the money. I think there's still a lot of growth going on, and they're going to need the funds. And without the money, they're going to grow a lot slower, because they're going to have to use their own retained earnings to purchase all these things instead of having financing come from someone else to purchase all these things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they don't technically need the money, but should they borrow the money? Yes, I think so.
Yeah. It says how much does Buzz Agent need? They probably don't need any, but I think they need it to help them grow more rapidly and to evaluate their company.
I think so. I agree with that too. I mean, technically speaking, no, they don't, but they need to grow quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Question 5 says, open your spreadsheet, compare the 50 million valuation on a 15 million investment.
Sorry, keep going. I gotta go to the restroom real quick.
Okay. Do you see that one, Susie, number 5?
Which question? Number 5, open your spreadsheet, compare the 50 mil valuation on a 15 mil investment.
Yeah.
So we already did that in the worksheets. Compare the valuation on an investment.
It looks, I mean, the difference here is just that they are required to have a lot more revenue. Value of investor is different.
Sorry, what are you guys talking about?
Just that question, just a comparison.
What did you guys say already?
I was talking about the revenue. The required revenue from 2006 to 2010 is so much more.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there are like $40 million more revenue at exit in 5 years, 241 million compared to 185 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big difference.
Yeah. So I mean, there's little downfalls that come with it too, but I don't think it's enough to say, oh, let's make ourselves worth $40 million less. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
So just number wise, I think it makes sense. I think there's some other things that the 15 million valuation doesn't add up to, like some of their criteria with receiving help and such. But
okay, I know this sounds ignorant, but your patience is greatly appreciated. So when they, oh man. Okay, so I guess I'm not even going to ask that question because I can't even put it into words. But at an exit, is that when they sell the company?
no, I think that's just at the end of the term sheet. So if it's a term sheet for 5 years, then the exit is the value at the end of the term sheet.
And they need to just get their investment back at that time, and then they're no longer part of the company?
I'm not sure what happens with that, but they do get paid back. I know they get paid back, and they get certain fees. So they get like a 2.5% management fee, and they get take like 25% of the return.
So, in the other consideration in all of this was the repurchase of the stocks and the bonuses for the employees. That the new VC firm did not want to give that to the company.
Yeah.
And I thought that would really hurt morale of the employees. And so I know that it's a different angle to look at things, but my opinion is that if they grow the company by making them, I guess, by giving them the bonuses and the opportunity to repurchase the stocks, I don't understand all of that, but it makes better sense that they would not take away all of that because it's something that they have on the table that they're expecting, and that will like undermine the company foundation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought about that too. But I guess maybe just because I think this way, maybe employees wouldn't, but I can get a split of 3 million right now, or I can wait 5 years and the company will be worth roughly 240 million more, or 200 million more.
That's a good balance if you can look at it.
I could take $100,000 now, or I could take a couple million in 5 years.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I guess I look at it like that, in the sense of like, okay, so what's my future value going to be in this company, and what is my value right now? Do I want to receive a small amount of a $3 million split, because they have to split between everybody, right? $3 million, or do I want to get a much higher value in the future? So I mean, it depends on what the employees want. Some might want instant cash, and some will be smarter really and look to the future and say, hey, I want this large chunk of change in 5 years from now rather than receiving a little bit of money now.
So that's the problem, is not knowing how it all works. I don't even know how to project that into the future and say, oh, well, that makes so perfect sense what you've just said, but without the basic understanding of how it all works, we're supposed to make an evaluation of something I don't know anything about. So
yeah, it's rough. This class doesn't really teach you, it just kind of throws you at it.
Right.
Because I think you're supposed to have learned a lot of these things in previous classes, but this isn't a class for just business majors.
Right.
So it's rough. All right, should we go on to the sixth question?
So, using your spreadsheet, discuss the math you use to calculate your answers in the tab titled 2 VC return requirements.
So I was really excited that I came up with the answers for everything, but they weren't accurately compared to the answer sheet. But I was pretty excited that I was able to figure it out a little bit. It took me a while.
Yeah.
Well, after I looked at the answer sheet, I understood why the numbers, why they got the numbers, and I was able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we had the answer sheet because I could see where the numbers were coming from.
Yeah, that's kind of what I did too. Yeah. So I mean, it was pretty much just pretty straightforward. Everything was put to the 5th power, to the 1/5 power for dividing over the 5 years.
Yep.
And it wasn't too crazy. The growth rate was probably the most difficult one.
Yep.
But you're just taking, the end revenue divided by the current revenue to the 1/5 power, so for every year, and then minusing by 1 so that you have your growth rate per year.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay. Question 7. How did the growth expectations affect your view on which term sheet is more favorable to management?
I think it changed mine a lot. I was kind of in the beginning taking a position, before the sheet I was reading the case, they don't need to take the 15 million, their Series A investors will lose preference at liquidation and some other things like that. I'm like, it's fine. But then I came back and I saw these numbers and I'm like, well, that's, growing 59% or 67% every year. That's a huge difference. and especially like in the value of Buzz Agent at exit, to be worth $50 million more dollars, $60 million more dollars is a huge thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, if it was just like maybe $5 million, it'd be like whatever, not that big of a deal. You don't want to give up 3% more of your ownership and things like that. But for $60 million more dollars, I think it's well worth it.
That's a good point. I was still, even after looking at the numbers, I still kind of had the view like, oh, they shouldn't take the 15 million deal. They should just go with their own. But
oh, that's so interesting, Brent, because I thought you two guys were going to go, yes, take the money and run it. And I had just said, no, this is what they came up with. This is what they wanted to do because it wouldn't take all of this haggling back and forth. They just go with what they came up with. Everybody was really excited about their idea of changing it. What was it? Unprecedented way of doing the venture capitalists. And I thought, they should just go with that so they can get on with their honeymoon and their baby. I thought that would be like the woman's view. And you guys would say, no, this is great money. So I like that you kind of were thinking maybe not to go with theirs.
Yeah, there's a little wrong with it, I think. Overall, maybe in the future, I think the benefits would be greater to take the 15 million.
Yeah. And it's weird because most of the discussions that we get and the questions that we get are about the numbers, not about the other criteria too. It's like we haven't even talked about the other criteria, that he really focused on, like who's going to help us the most, who has the most prestige, but none of these questions are even focused on that.
Exactly. There was a few disconnects.
Yeah, I guess number wise, I would take the 15 million, but I think some of the other things, I wouldn't take the 15 million. So it's kind of a weird case.
Yeah.
All right, should we go on to 8?
Yeah, it says go to tab entitled 3. So go to the third tab, compare your responses. If there are differences or questions about the numbers, help each other come to the right answers.
Well, I don't know how there'd be differences because we all receive a check mark if they're right or not.
Yeah, and the answer key helps us to get them right because we.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gave you a check mark whether they were correct answers or not because I had different numbers. And
not for me. It gave me X's if it was wrong.
Oh, well, I got X's. I mean check marks on the first time I did it, and then when I changed it to the to be the same as the answer sheet, it was still correct. It's because of the rounding and the multiplying with decimal points and because they did on a few of them, they just rounded it up quite a bit. And so to accurately have exactly the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you, Andrew.
Sure.
So on the first little table, the 20% ownership and the 23.1% ownership.
Sorry, hold on. First table on 3?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the Series B ownership percentage, who are the Series B? They're the ones, like the VC firm?
Yeah, so they did their Series A, which was kind of weird. They kind of did a seed fund. So it goes seed fund, and that's kind of like angel investors or individuals who donate, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like to start your company out. So once your company's kind of going, but you're not able to fully fund your company, you go for a Series A financing. And so then kind of once you're in the middle, once you're profitable, you're going along, it's kind of like a late term financing. So you do like a Series B financing.
Okay.
So that's what this would be. Because they never did a seed fund. They took the $500,000 they got from a couple people and they called it Series A.
Okay, gotcha.
Because they were already going so well, so they didn't want to call it a seed round.
Okay.
So yeah, so this would be Series B because it's the second.
That's where you got the Series B or whoever this venture capital firm that wants to invest, they're only going to have 3% more ownership anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't take the deal.
Yeah, which I mean makes a lot of difference in like how much money you have to give them, but they're still going to make more money in the end because of it's a lot more money, in the end. So yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that.
Yeah. But I mean, we all have check marks now, right? So all our answers should be the same.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to the next one then.
Okay.
All right. Why is the price per share of the VC term sheet very close to that of the VC term sheet?
But the value of the current shareholder is different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just saw that and I saw, well, it's about the same because your total value goes up, and to get the you want to get the whatever the price per share is just the value divided by the amount of shares. So, I mean, the value went up, the shares went up too, but the value went up, and they equaled out to be about the same price per share.
Yeah.
Which they probably did that on purpose.
I said that there were more shares. So more shares you have, the more value you'll have in the end.
Yeah. Well, it could happen where your value stays the same and you have more shares, and then your stock price would go down. But that's more like a stock split where they would take everyone's would get like have like, say you had 100 stocks, they would split them and you get 200, but at a lesser price, but worth the same. But yeah, because the value went up and the stock went up, stock amount went up, then the price is going to stay about the same.
Oh. Didn't quite understand that, but that was good. I understand it now. Are we ready for 10? Everybody.
There's 2 questions into that. Which number is most important as a founder, and which number is more important to you as a Series A investor?
Okay, so I didn't understand the difference between the 8% and the 17% of the options. So let me go back to that. I don't know. It's really hard to not have the knowledge of what they're talking about, the option pool. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And it's something I would like to know, but I mean, it takes forever to learn all of this stuff, and a hour class does not cut it. So the current shareholders have 72%, and the VCs showed 60%. So that's the difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a difference because the shareholders hold more, 12% more.
I think what the option pool is, from my understanding, is the option pool is what people like in the company are getting. So, like, if you know what a stock option is?
Sort of.
It's kind of like a retirement benefit. So instead of getting, like, say you're investing in a 401k, right, and your company matches up to 5%. So if you put in $100 and they're going to put in $100 up to a certain amount of your percentage of your salary. So it's kind of like the same thing, but they do it with stocks. So instead of matching they'll say like you work for Boeing, and Boeing's like, okay, we're gonna give you stock options. And this is actually what Google, the CEO of Google makes $1 a year, but he gets millions of dollars in stocks every year. So then they say, okay, we'll let you buy these stocks with this money. We'll let you do it at a 25% discount. So you automatically have a 25% return on whatever stocks you get in the company. So I think that's the same thing with this. So it's saying, option A is saying they're only going to give out 8% to the employees. In option B, this is how I understand it, would give out 70% of the stock to the employees.
So that's the opposite of what I was thinking, that it's better. But so the Series A investors are going to give the employees more.
No, they're going to give employees less.
17% instead of 8%?
I don't think I know what you're saying. 8% is what they want. 17% is what the new VC term sheet is.
Right. So that's what they want to keep, 17%?
No, they want to give 17% to the employees. So I just Googled it, and I was right. So the Buzz Agent term sheet, they're going to say, because remember, they want to give $3 million, right, to the employees. So that probably factors into why they have a lower option pool. So option pool is just like a retirement fund, because if you receive, like, think about back to Walmart when the Walmart started, and every person in Walmart received stock, and now all those original employees are like multimillionaires. It's kind of the same idea. Actually, it is the same idea. It's exactly what it is. So if you have 8%, then all the employees will receive 8% of the total amount of stocks divided between all the employees. But to receive 17% of the stock would be much better than 8% of the stock.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I
And
didn't
so
know.
they forego the $3 million and they raise the amount of stock they want to give the employees, because when you come to a company and you're like, well, we'll pay you this much, plus you'll get, 100,000 shares in the company. Well, that 100,000 shares might only be worth, let's say, $100,000 right now. But what if in 10 years, when you leave the company, those 100,000 shares are worth $5 million? So take your 3 million compared to your 5 million, or your 300,000 compared to your 5 million or whatever. So a stock is worth a lot more if the company does well.
It makes a lot.
Yeah. So like I said, the CEO of Google makes $1 a year. All his money comes from stock options.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah. So that's what the option pool is, which I think is smart, because you forego the $3 million, which, that's just, hey, here's some money right now, or you give the investors a big chance to increase their share, So we're looking at 185 million compared to 240 million. And they get to take more of that.
That makes the question, which number is more important to you as a founder? I mean, what does that do for the founder? He's going to make more money either way and have to come up with less cash right now.
Well, I don't think this question is asking anything about the option pool.
Yeah, it's asking about
It's asking about the option pool. It's asking about the what number, like in the revenue, is most important to you. And I mean, the option pool is for the employees. It doesn't even matter to the founder. I mean, it does somewhat, because it takes part of his shares away. So I think there's two important numbers on the sheet. I think the percentage, he's only going to make 59.9%. The owners are, or the current shareholders are, and they're going to lose 3% and 7% to, or 9% to the employees. So their shares will go down, but the value of their shares will go up. Does that make sense?
Right. So which one is more important to them?
I think technically the percentage of, I think the value is, because no matter their percentage of ownership, if value goes up, they'll end up making more money in the end. Let's see. Let's do the math. So current investors have 59.9%. Oh, that's not right.
Well, I have 72%. So.
Well, that's just one side of it. We're looking at both. So on Series B, the investors are going to have a value of $39 million, and then they would have a value of 36. So yeah, I mean, each investor is going to make more money on the second term sheet, the VC term sheet, instead of the Buzz Agent term sheet. So it's going to return more value to them, to the current shareholders. It's going to turn more value to the investors and to the option pool, their employees, and more value to the Series B investors. Does that make sense? Or do you guys have differing opinions?
No, it's all very a lot more time needed for understanding it than is available.
Yeah. So I guess in short, what is going to turn more value? Because I mean, what is a company for? Why does someone start a company?
Right, to make
money. So why would you take something that doesn't make you as much money? I mean, it boils down to simply as that. Would you rather have your stocks value at 36 million, or would you rather have them value at 38 million?
Right.
Kind of a no-brainer question, Or would you rather give your employees 4 million, or would you rather give them 11 million?
Exactly.
So I think the main thing is, what returns value, and I think that's the most important. How are we going to make the most money? And for the owners especially, what's going to return the most money to myself? So I guess that's probably just the simplest way to put it that way.
So that's a great answer to the question. Which number is more important to you as a founder? Which one is going to make me the most money?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, we're not running a business, so that we can make the world a better place, although it might do that, but really we just want to make money. So then it says, what number is most important to you as a Series A investor?
I wrote the stock prices.
Well, the Series A investor, I think that the overall value of your stocks is more important.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's all the same. I think it's the same answer for the two. I mean, I guess people could argue,
Yeah.
but I mean, with the stock prices being about the same, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's about the same. I think something that's interesting too is if the VC term sheet creates more stock and the other one doesn't. So it might have some value too. I mean, these Series A investors get to keep more of their stocks. They don't have them bought back. So the more stocks they get to keep in the future, the more they're worth. So and the Buzz agent, they want to buy back 500,000 shares to the company and keep those in their stock treasury or whatever they call it. So technically, I mean, you don't want to have your shares bought back right now because they're not going to be worth as much as they will in the future.
So do you guys want to go to the next?
Sure.
Do we want to look at the capitalization? What was it? The class prep worksheet?
Yeah.
Or
That's at the very end of the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's only 3 questions. Based on your analysis of Bud's agent term sheet and the VC term sheet, in your opinion of which term sheet to accept changed, which proposal would you recommend that Bolter accept?
Mine changed.
Yeah, it's definitely changed after looking at the numbers, and especially after listening to you, Andrew, discuss like why, and after helping me understand what some of those numbers meant. Changed for sure.
Yeah, well, don't let me affect your decision completely.
No, there was a few things I didn't understand, like the percentages of, what was it called? The option pool. I didn't know what that was. I even Googled it, I couldn't understand it. So.
Right,
Yeah.
and I've already changed this twice, like answered the whole thing and then changed my mind again and put it back. And so now I told you guys what I had decided to do for the company. And now after the explanation, I feel like I need to change it again. So I don't know if that's what it's all supposed to be for us, for us to kind of work through it and figure it out. It may be that our discussion is just what we're supposed to look at it from different angles. And so
Yeah.
changing the answer, I don't know how they can determine if this is the correct answer or not. It's just our opinion. So
Yeah. That's all it is.
So, but anyways, then we're supposed to read the raising capital at Buzz agent.
You want to read that right now?
Yeah, do you want me to read a little bit?
Yeah, I've already read it. I don't
So
know.
did I. It really isn't much different. Actually, it's not really at all than what the actual case says. So maybe if you want to just read over it real quick, Susan, since the rest of the stuff we already read it.
You guys didn't follow instructions. We weren't supposed to read it. We're supposed to read it together.
Well, I pre-read it, so I'd be prepared.
So okay, well next time I'll just go forward too. But so it is really kind of what we've already just discussed.
Yeah, there's a couple more little things in there, but nothing number-wise. It's just criteria-wise.
So what did they do with the other 10 VCs?
They just say, see ya.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they take more than one?
Because they wouldn't want to, because then they would lose 40% of their ownership instead of 20 or 23%.
Okay. I didn't understand that very well, and I even wrote that question out. Why don't they take all of them and use all of them?
Something really important to understand, maybe this is going to clear up a lot of things for you, Susan, is that every time someone invests money in a company, they're taking part of the ownership.
Right. It dilutes it.
Yes.
I do understand that a little bit.
So like 10 million goes in, then they're going to lose 23%. But if someone's going to invest 20 million, then they're going to take more of a share.
Right.
And that's all based off of like, oh, it's a $50 million valuation. I'm going to put this much in, and depending on how much the valuation is and how much I put in is what I'm going to be worth.
Right.
In that company.
So it makes a lot more sense.
You don't want to take all 10 because then you'd have $100 million and you wouldn't even have a company.
Right. There goes the rest of it. So, okay. That makes good sense. And thank you for explaining the parts that you know. Makes a big difference. I don't think we have to turn in this paper anyways, the questions.
We turn in the Excel sheet and then we turn in another document.
Yeah, case analysis, right?
Yeah, but it says just a brief document that just says what our decision was and why.
We do a case analysis on our own though at the end of the week. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's no other case analysis for this.
Okay.
Yeah, there is. That's what I'm working on right now because we were supposed to turn that in by Saturday. We do have a case analysis though.
But this is the case analysis. This whole thing right here, we're not writing like a normal case analysis this week. It says it on the announcements. This document that we create right now is the case analysis. Plus, we have to turn in
the worksheet.
The worksheet, which is the case analysis.
I don't know, Andrew. You might want to make sure on that because I'm turning in a case analysis. It has a place to turn it in.
Okay, so it says most of you are understanding the requirements. Blah blah. Oh, where did I say this?
If I can find the right one, I have too many.
That's and we. Nope. All right, this is a short meeting. Meaning there's only one case study, Buzz Agent. The syllabus has been updated, so please follow the as two parts to it, and this is exception to the usual required case analysis. In part A, which is the case analysis, you submit the Excel spreadsheet as your case analysis. So the Excel spreadsheet is all that you need for your case analysis. As a group, you create a decision document and submit it in part B. So there's no actual case analysis.
Wow. I guess they won't reject it if I turn it in.
No, I mean, that's the requirements. I think if you don't turn in the Excel spreadsheet and you turn in your own actual case analysis, it's probably just going to be a lot of work that didn't merit anything because it's just the spreadsheet is the case analysis.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what makes it super easy. And that's why I said it's a short week.
Yeah, enjoy your time off. No such thing. Okay, so I'll just make sure and turn in what I have, but okay, so, and Brent is turning in the other one.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to decide so that I can do this, which one we're going to do.
Yeah. So I guess we'll do a vote at 51 minutes. I vote that we take the 15 million, even though there's some criteria issues that they worry about the company with, but I still vote to take the 15.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and you have persuaded me that that's what I want to do also.
Okay. That makes it easy.
Well, does it have to be unanimous?
I think so. Yeah. Because we're submitting one decision and why.
So, you know, on our content page, it says Buzz Agent case analysis submission. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little confusing here as well. Because then the case discussion is another assignment we have to turn in.
I don't see the case analysis submission.
There is one. There's one, but he explains, it's going to say that all the time, but it explains that part A, or the case analysis, it says Excel spreadsheet adds your case analysis. So that case analysis is just going to be the spreadsheet. So that's what you're going to turn in. It's just a TEM spreadsheet. So that's Buzz Agent case analysis, the second one down. And then there's Buzz Agent decision. So that's part B, which is going to be the paper that Brent turns in.
Yep. Okay. So
and that's it.
I guess my next question is for you guys so that I can do this paper.
Yeah.
How long of an explanation would you guys like?
Well, it just says this should be a brief document.
Brief. What's brief? What does brief mean to you guys?
Well, I think just say, like, if you started out and we're just like, we decided that we should take the $15 million, whatever, the VC term sheet. And then if you went along and said something like, you know, we saw that you know, the company is going to be worth this much more. The investors were going to have this much more value, blah, blah, blah. And something like, although all the criteria may not meet up, I would say maybe a page.
Okay.
You know, and just go over the different things that we talked about.
Okay.
And if you need any help, just let me know.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, just hit on like the value is going to be a lot more, just like the difference between the two values would be, and the difference between the values of the stockholders, what they would receive. And I think the employment, you know, the employment pool is going to attract better employees because everybody wants stock options. So.
All right.
If you understand them, I think it makes a big difference.
I think I can handle it. And if you guys want, I can send it to you before I submit it.
Sure. Yeah. And then we'll just add things if we feel like we need to or whatever.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, that works. So I think that's it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll send the link out to everybody.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. And so Wednesday at
11:30.
Next week will be Wednesday at 11:30. Then the week after that, the 27th, I got to meet Tuesday because I'm
Tuesday.
leaving Wednesday for the rest of the week.
Okay, sounds great. I
Okay.
will see you next week. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Brent.
Yeah.
See ya.